What's up, guys? It's Jensen and welcome to another video. So the Philadelphia 76ers are trending down heading into 2020, and there are a lot of reasons for concerns if you're a Philadelphia 76ers fan. And this is coming from a guy that had the Philadelphia 76ers as the favorites out of the Eastern Conference heading into this season. I thought that even though there were valid concerns, I thought that they just had too much talent. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, most of all. Al Horford, signing him, I thought that would be an impactful deal. And I really thought that when you account all those guys, I thought it was just going to be too much talent for the rest of the East. Especially for the Milwaukee Bucks, who lost Malcolm Brogdon. Toronto obviously lost Kawhi. They were completely out of the equation. And the Boston Celtics, who lost Kyrie Irving. I really thought that the Philadelphia 76ers had too much talent for the rest of those teams. And I no longer think that's the case right now. This team can lose to any team on any night when you look at it, because their offense can grow very stagnant. It gets very stale because they have no three-point shooters. And this has been a valid concern. Virtually everyone has admitted that they have a three-point shooting problem. But let me just remind you, that's a problem when your best three-point shooter who shoots with volume is Josh Richardson at 35%. This is a real concern right here for the Philadelphia 76ers, especially when you're taking account of a team like the Miami Heat, who have Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, two lights-out shooters. Boston's one of the better three-point shooting teams in the league, and Milwaukee is surrounded Giannis with shooters. So when you look at Philadelphia and their shooting concerns, this is a major issue. But the biggest issue might be the fact that their point guard, Ben Simmons, their second-best player, doesn't even take jump shots. I think that it was a problem when last year TJ McConnell, when he took over as the point guard, Philadelphia functioned better. Even though Ben Simmons is a very talented player and we all admit it, the fact that he doesn't have a jump shot really caps his ceiling, and it really caps the ceiling of the Philadelphia 76ers. He has to at least take jump shots, and I'm a huge Ben Simmons fan. I think that if he can get a jump shot, he's going to be up there with Giannis and Luka when we talk about the next generation superstars of the NBA. He's that good. But if he doesn't have a jump shot, he might not even be an all-star caliber player. He might just be a mere point guard, just a mere good starting point guard. That's not going to cut it for Philadelphia. They need a true star out of Ben Simmons. They gave him a max contract. They need some real production out of Ben Simmons, specifically out of the three-point line, taking more jump shots. That's absolutely necessary if Philadelphia wants to be a contender. The problem is that we're already a quarter into the season, more than a quarter into the season actually. And Ben Simmons, you can't just develop a three-point shot right out of the blue in the middle of the season. So they really had to look to the outside for some three-point help. Not to mention the fact that Al Horford, Tobias Harris, these guys are also known as three-point shooters. They've struggled this year. They've been in the low 30%. And Joel Embiid, not really a shooter, but he hasn't even been that good from the three-point line. But when you look at the outside, they can't really trade for anyone because they don't really have any draft picks. They don't really have anyone tradable that another team would want. You're not trading Al Horford or Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons or Tobias Harris or even Josh Richardson. I don't see them trading him either. So what do you really have that teams would really want to trade for? Not to mention the fact that they barely have any draft picks that teams would want. So it really comes down to free agency, and there isn't really much left there on the market. I would think if I was the Philadelphia 76ers, I would take a look at Jamal Crawford. Even though he's 39 years old, he could still score points. Even last season with the Phoenix Suns, he had that one game where he scored 50 points. This guy, even though he's old, he still has a tendency to turn it back every once in a while. He provides a can of instant offense the way that Lou Williams does for the Los Angeles Clippers. Jamal Crawford is very similar to that, even if he is a little bit older. So if you're Philadelphia and you can sign Jamal Crawford on a minimum contract, why not? That's a good idea for Philadelphia. But the thing that's not curable for Philadelphia is the fact that I think they're lacking that toughness, and they're lacking a go-to guy, in my opinion. Jimmy Butler was so important for that team last year because not only did he provide that toughness for a team that seemed relatively soft. I mean, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, they're great players, but I don't know if they have the mentality to really be true NBA champions, in my opinion. But Jimmy Butler had that. He had the mentality of a true NBA champion, even if though he has never won the NBA championship. But nevertheless, he had that killer instinct, and he's just that guy who you could trust in the clutch moments. When the time's running down and you need a bucket, Jimmy Butler was the guy. Who's that guy for Philadelphia right now? Maybe Josh Richardson, but he's not really there yet. He's not that type of guy. I think that Philadelphia intended for Tobias Harris to be that guy, but he's not that type of guy either. Tobias Harris is merely a third option on a championship team at best. And I really feel like he's just the fourth best player in a championship team because he really doesn't do much other than score. He's not that great of a scorer either. I think Philadelphia made a major mistake committing $180 million to him over 5 years. But they're kind of stuck with the crew they got now. And also, if I'm Philadelphia, I'm questioning why I signed Al Horford to a 4-year, $100 million contract when if we could have had Malcolm Brogdon for 4 years, $85 million, and you would have just had to trade an extra first-round pick away. But it's too late to talk about that now. The bottom line is Philadelphia's lack of three-point shooting and the fact that Philadelphia doesn't really have the right guys to win a championship is the reason why the 76ers are in trouble unless they get some immediate help. And 76ers fans should be extremely worried, especially with the Milwaukee Bucks being even better than they were last year and the Miami Heat really trending up. I'm really a huge fan of the Miami Heat, and I think that they could maybe make the NBA Finals too. So Philadelphia's in a lot of trouble, but we'll see how it goes. Should be an interesting NBA season. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe. I'll be providing more NBA and NFL hot takes as the season goes on, and have a good day.